Hey folks, Alan Manic, the Hot Rod Hippie here. This week's video, we're taking a look at one of the new Craftsman Ratchet Sets. Let's check it out. So over the past few years, the fate of Craftsman Tools has not only been up in the air, but it's bounced around quite a bit. Sears sold them off, they became parts of different tool groups, they moved around a little bit, changed designs here and there, and their future seemed to be in question. Well, now Stanley Black & Decker has bought them up and is doing a large push to really promote the brand. Being part of the Stanley Group means that they're joining the ranks of obviously Stanley Tools, Black & Decker, Porter Cable, and also Mac Tools. Stanley seems like they're putting quite a bit behind the new line, so let's check out what this new 3/8" ratchet set looks like. So this is not a full product review, this is just me throwing out the information about this set to you and a little bit of my opinion about this and other products on the market. So I was able to pick up this 51-piece set at my local Lowe's home improvement store. The Craftsman Tools will now be available in Lowe's and Ace Hardware stores. Now this 51-piece set is what they're calling gunmetal chrome. It's got that black chrome kind of finish to it that a lot of wheels have had for some years now. Stanley is releasing these new products a little bit at a time. If you go on their website, a lot of things say coming soon. When I went to the Lowe's store, there was only a few things in the store, some toolboxes and a few socket sets. This is the basic 3/8 socket set being a 51-piece set, 39 of which are the ratchet, extension, universal joint, shallow and deep, standard and metric sockets. The shallow sockets go from 6mm up to 21mm, skipping only 20mm in there. And they go from 1/4 inch to 3/4 inch, including 11/32. The deep sockets go from 10mm to 17mm, skipping 11mm and 16mm. The standard deeps go from 7/16 to 3/4 inch. The 5/8 that is in here is not a spark plug socket, it is just a standard socket. There is no spark plug socket in this set. So I've mentioned 39 pieces. Where are the other 12? Well, the other 12 are the 1/4 inch bit socket and the 1/4 inch bits that come with it. So in there you get a handful of flathead bits and standard hex bits. So most folks are probably only going to care about the socket set here, not so much the bits that come with this. Though having the bit socket is kind of nice in there, you can use that with any of your 1/4 inch bits you may have. Now let's go ahead and talk about the star of the show, the 3/8 ratchet. This thing has that gunmetal chrome design on it. I do like to see that they have the chrome design rather than the old kind of textured design that most of the Craftsman ratchets had. This will be a little bit nicer for keeping it clean, though that gunmetal chrome really shows fingerprints, I can say that for sure. The ratchet has this kind of oblong oval design handle that feels decent in your hand, though it doesn't have any knurled grip or anything like that to hold on to. And then it has what they're calling a pair head design at the other end with a 120-tooth dual pawl ratcheting mechanism. I explained the dual pawl ratcheting mechanism in a previous video about a Husky ratchet. You can check that out here. Now that 120-tooth design is double that of their previous Craftsman Professional series, which had 60-tooth ratcheting mechanisms, and not quite 4 times the old Craftsman ratchets, which were only 36-tooth ratcheting mechanisms. This ratchet is a sealed design, meaning they are not going to be rebuilding this when you take it in to get it warrantied. Believe me, I wanted to show you what was inside of this ratchet, and I can't personally figure out how to get it apart. Not without completely destroying it, putting it in a press or something silly like that. It just does not want to come apart, and that's the way it's going to be. That also means you won't be able to get in here to oil it, to clean it up, anything like that over time if you want to. Here, let's hear what that 120-tooth design sounds like. With the 120-tooth ratcheting mechanism, you're going to get a nice tight ratcheting arc, about a 3-degree swing arc on this ratchet. However, this pair head design is awfully thick, so fitting this thing into tighter places where you're going to need that tighter swing arc might be a little bit difficult. With a 10mm socket installed on this ratchet from the back side of the head to the end of the 10mm socket that came in this set, this thing measured 1 3/4 inch tall. Now go ahead and compare that to this Matco ratchet that is my personal 88-tooth ratchet that I use all the time, with that same 10mm socket on this one, from the back of the head to the front of the socket measures 1.5 inch. That's a 1/4 inch difference between these two ratchets in actual usable design. Something else that's different about this new design is the sockets themselves. Back in the mid-2000s, early 2000s, Craftsman started doing laser etching on all their sockets, so there were big, highly visible numbers on there, and that was really handy. These new sockets, however, do not have that. The old Craftsman sockets were also pretty easy to identify whether they were standard or metric. The standard ones were a smooth body with stamped in numbers, and then the metric ones were also a smooth body, but they had a single line around the base of the socket with the number as well, so you could quickly see that ring on there and know that was a metric socket. These new sockets, however, they both have this kind of almost a knurled design around the bottom. The standard ones have a single knurled line all the way around, and the metric ones have two knurled lines in the same space as that single knurled line on the standard one. At a glance, trying to identify which one's standard and which one's metric might actually be a little bit difficult or take quite a bit of getting used to. Now, this whole socket set comes in this really nice blow molded case. It is really heavy duty. This would be great for keeping in a pickup truck, back of your car, something like that. The sockets are retained via these kind of like two little clips in there that are molded into the plastic to hold them in place. And actually, I've had quite a bit of trouble getting some of them out of there. So till they wear in, they might actually be a pain to get out of this case. Now, these tools do carry a lifetime warranty. And now the last piece of information I have for you is the controversial part. This is what I've seen in all the comments of all the new products from Craftsman that are getting announced, getting released. These are made in Taiwan. Now, I have heard through the grapevine that Stanley is saying they really want to bring manufacturing back to the US. They really want to up the US market as far as the Craftsman tools are concerned. However, they didn't start out that way with this set. This is manufactured overseas in Taiwan, like many other ratchet sets are. Now, with that said, this set costs $69.89 at my local Lowe's. Now, if we compare that to other brands that are made overseas, like Sunex, Gear Wrench, Husky, Tecton, this actually falls in a really good price point at that $69. This set seems like a pretty good value. It's going to be up to you whether or not this being made overseas tarnishes the name of Craftsman to you, or whether you're willing to accept that and pick this set up. I'm not making any judgment on that. That is all up to you. You know, when I first got into the auto industry, I started with Craftsman sockets and ratchets, and I still have mostly Craftsman sockets. They've lasted me well over a decade professionally using them. Only time is going to tell whether or not this new line is going to hold up like the old ones did, or what changes Stanley is going to make to the production of these tools. Alright folks, I hope you found this video interesting. If you did, go ahead and drop it a like. Let me know in the comments down below. What do you think of this stuff being made overseas? What do you think of the new designs that they have on these ratchets, these sockets? Let me know what you're thinking. Go ahead and subscribe to the channel for more content like this every week. Thanks for coming around, folks.